Welcome to the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast. I'm your host, Steve Gill, and I am part of the Fanatical Elves Network, which is part of the Fans First Sports Network. Well, that was an embarrassment. Um, just when you think the Browns are starting to change the culture, the old culture comes screaming back. Um, let's start with the rookie, Dorian Thompson Robinson. I don't blame him for any of this. He was thrust into kind of an impossible situation. His head coach did not help him out. I'm usually a big believer in Kevin Stefanski, but when you're calling pass plays 7 out of the first 10 plays with a rookie quarterback who was drafted in the 5th round against a very good team and also a division rival, that's a recipe for disaster. The first play they had on offense, they had a 25-yard run. I know, it was called back because of a penalty, of course. Let's shoot ourselves in the foot right from the beginning. But still, don't give up on the run. Even when you're down 7-3, don't give up on the run. You are having success. Didn't use Kareem Hunt enough. I know Jerome Ford is the number one back, but you need that whirling dervish of Kareem Hunt to go out there and get you some tough yards. Defense started okay. I am not ready to give up on the defense and say it's not great. Like I've always said, I'll wait till after week 6 before I determined about the defense. They were just put in an impossible situation. They were on the field way too much. They did get Baltimore 3 and outs first 2 possessions. So they started out okay. Then on the Browns' second possession, you get a nice 7-yard run. And what does Kevin Stefanski do? He dials up a long pass with his rookie quarterback. Then on 3rd and 3, what does he do? He tries another pass, and it's interception. And before you know it, it's 7-0 Baltimore. Can't do that. Can't do that with Pittsburgh. Can't do that with Baltimore. Cannot do that with the 49ers coming to town in 2 weeks. His play calling did not help his rookie quarterback. He put him in impossible situations. Even my wife Karen, was watching it with me, and she's looking at me like, what the hell is he doing to that quarterback? He's going to get him killed. And that's exactly what it looked like. Empty sets? No, come on. David Njoku, who I thought wouldn't play because of the incident on Friday, trying to light a bonfire. I'm sure there are people in Cleveland right now saying, hey, guys, if any of you want to light a bonfire in your backyard, give me a call. I'll do it for you. But he had his best game. So let's use him a little more. But the play calling was atrocious to start that game. And then he just kept passing. You can't do that to this young kid. They weren't completely out of it, even at 14-3. Still had the ball first in the second half. But you're out there just slinging it like you got Deshaun Watson playing. All right, Deshaun Watson's injury. Boy, that came at a bad time. But I understand it. Let's not take a chance. If you can't throw a 40-yard pass, he shouldn't be playing. PJ Walker, obviously he wasn't ready yet. His stats are nothing to scream about, but he is 4-3 as a starting quarterback in the NFL. So no, they don't need a veteran backup. And no, Joshua Dobbs would have not made a difference in this game. I'm sorry, he wouldn't. I love Josh Dobbs, but he would not have made a difference in this game. This game was over when they made the decision, when they announced that Dorian Thompson Robinson was starting. He took all the number one reps in practice. Kevin, you gotta adjust the play calling for a rookie. I know everybody has faith in this kid, but He looked good in exhibition, and that's exactly what it was. That's like having a beauty contest based on personality, preseason stats. They just don't translate to regular season. Now, what are the Browns doing? They're 2-2. When the schedule first came out, a lot of people said, well, if they're 2-2 at the bye, I can live with that. Of course, everyone was insisting that it might be, could be Cincinnati and Baltimore as the two wins. But, you know, I knew they were going to beat Tennessee. Oh, that's another thing. Fans, my goodness, beat Cincinnati, go into the Super Bowl, lose the Steelers, fire everybody. Beat Tennessee, go into the Super Bowl, lose to Baltimore, fire everybody. It's a roller coaster ride. Name a Cleveland Browns season that wasn't a roller coaster ride. You'll be lucky to find one. Like I said, I'm not giving up on the defense. They had a bad day. What I didn't like is the missed tackles in the running plays, and Baltimore just ran down their throat because they couldn't tackle. And Zadarius Smith got hurt again. He did get half a sack, and then he hurt himself. Big concern over Myles Garrett's leg. He did get twisted around, but he's in a walking boot. Your starting center, Posick, left the stadium on crutches. We're going to wait to hear from Coach Stefanski today on the injury situation. I have a feeling everybody's going to be day to day. Just a wild guess. A lot of people are calling for Kevin Stefanski to give up play calling. They're basing this on the COVID games where Alex Van Pelt called the plays. Stefanski missed 2 games. They won one, lost one. The one they lost, they had a guy named Nick Mullins as their starting quarterback. And if it wasn't for a long field goal by Las Vegas, the Browns would have won that game. I'm kind of starting to lean that way. This is the time to do it. Bye week. Let your so-called offensive coordinator start calling a few plays. It's about time. I know he consults with everybody. He consults with Alex Van Pelt. He consults with Callahan, the offensive line coach. But that was just you left your rookie quarterback out to dry in this game. What makes it worse is Cincinnati lost here in Nashville to a Titans team that the Browns routed, and Pittsburgh lost to the Houston Texans. This was a game for the Browns to take control of their destiny and their division. Now Baltimore is the class of division. I think we can all agree to that. While Lamar Jackson is healthy, he plays like an MVP. The last time he won the MVP, he played all 16 games. So, and Baltimore defense, they came in and just kicked the Browns' butt. You signed Keith Van Noy on Tuesday, and he's making a difference on Sunday. Why can't that happen to the Browns? Well, I'm not here to fire anybody. I'm not going to call for Andrew Berry to be fired because he traded away Josh Dobbs. I understand why he did it. Josh Dobbs did not look well in preseason. You would have had to carry 3 quarterbacks. Dorian Thompson-Robinson would have never made it to the practice squad. Somebody would have taken him, and he'd be on a roster right now somewhere else. You have a veteran quarterback in P.J. Walker. Once he gets up to speed, and this is the time to get him up to speed. So we'll see how that shakes out. As for running backs, I'm still in Jerome Ford's corner, but they need help on their offensive line. I'm sorry, I've been calling for a veteran tackle, and I'm still calling for a veteran tackle. Jedrick Wills is just not the answer. The offensive line is just playing terrible. They double team the wrong guys, and it just leaves your quarterback out to dry. So Let's take a break, and we'll get back to it right after this. All right. Speaking of the AFC North, I have a feeling the Bengals are going to have to make the tough choice of sitting Joe Burrow down for a game at least. Just concede the loss. You're 1-3. You just lost to a terrible Tennessee team. Jamar Chase is already griping. Told the media he's always effing open. Not a good look in Cincinnati. They're just not there. Pittsburgh, I don't know how Matt Canada keeps his job. I have a feeling that if it gets to a point where Tomlin thinks he's going to have a losing record, he's going to can him or reassign him or change positions. It does not work. Those two teams are the worst teams. Cleveland, 500 right now. Baltimore, class of the division. Now, playoffs. It's way too early to talk about playoffs. But since everyone is convinced that it's either they're either going to the Super Bowl or they're firing anybody, let's assume that they can write this and Deshaun Watson comes back fully healthy. I'm hoping. He's got fluid on his rotator cuff. My wife had rotator cuff surgery, so I know how sore it could be. Let's hope that he plays against San Francisco, which is not a gimme game. And also going against the Browns, Kevin Stefanski is 0-3 as a head coach coming out of the bye. So they've got a bunch of stuff stacked against them going into that San Francisco game. But they need to regroup, figure out what went wrong, and hope that the injury reports for Watson, Garrett, and Posick, although Harris did play pretty well, come back positive. The AFC North is still there. They do have an easier schedule past San Francisco. They got some games that they can definitely win. They can definitely beat Pittsburgh in Cleveland. I don't know about going to Baltimore and winning. That looks almost impossible, but we don't know because we don't have Deshaun Watson. I'm not going to, a lot of people label me as optimistic. I'm a realist, not an optimist. I'm also not a pessimist. I'm also a wait and see guy. So let's see how they come out after San Francisco. It's going to be a tough game. San Francisco is very good offensively, very good defensively. But let's see what kind of game plan they draw up. But it all depends on Deshaun Watson's health. If he's not playing, I just can't see him beating San Francisco 49ers. I just can't. Unless Kevin Stefanski realizes that he's going to have to play to his quarterback strengths, not do a copycat, carbon copy offense and thinking these quarterbacks are interchangeable. They're not. Each quarterback is different. Well, so bye week. Yay. No more getting angry on Sunday. Yeah, I was a little mad. I didn't do the post-game show because I told John and Joel did a great job, as always. I told John I needed to clear my head, which I did. I didn't want to come on and spew profanities, which I wouldn't have done anyway. I was a little upset. And yes, I woke up at 3:15 this morning thinking about it. My mind was racing, but I put it behind me. I should have my blog, dawgpoundsouth.net, out this afternoon. Usually I wait a couple days after a loss, but I've got work to do. So I'll knock that out today. Let's just try and stay positive. Try and remember, it's only 4 games. Also remember when the schedule came out, everybody was saying, boy, we'd be lucky if we were 2-2, if the Browns were 2-2 at the bye. Well, they're 2-2 at the bye. It's been a roller coaster ride. It's kind of like the weather here in Nashville. Today and tomorrow it's going to be 90, and on Saturday as a highs, and on Saturday the high is going to be 67. It's a roller coaster ride. But we all know that. That's why we signed up for it. That's why we are Browns fans. I still think this is a very good team. I still think this defense will come around. They just had a bad game. It happens. So here we go. Moving forward. Bye week. Get everybody healthy. Get your game planning in for San Francisco. 1-0 after each week. So that's it for today. That's my rant. I am not angry like I should be. I still see some positives. So this is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast. Again, I'm your host, Steve Gill. I am part of the Fanatical L's Network, which is also part of the Fans First Sports Network. And let me echo what John says after every show. We really appreciate you following us. You're taking the time to watch and listen to our podcasts. We have a bunch of talented guys here who are dedicated Browns fans, and they will give you their opinions and their analysis as best of their ability. So that's today's show. Everybody enjoy the bye. I think my wife and I are going to go have Sunday brunch next Sunday. Why not? Get out of the house. Get away from the NFL for a little bit. Okay, everybody, have a great day and go Browns.